Hey guys, it's Jessie. So we are talking about The Last Star, the third and final book in the Fifth Wave trilogy by Rick Yancey. I almost said Yick Rancy. Oh my gosh. The Last Star. This book, I loved how it started out. It started out like how the Infinite Sea started out. Not necessarily like a prologue. I guess you would say it's a prologue. But it goes in depth with the story. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it, but I loved it. It's like, it was shocking, like the Infinite Sea beginning of it, but I feel like the Infinite Sea was more shocking. But this book, it's such a page turner. By the time that you get to like the last page of this, you're just like, what happened? Whoa. Did that really happen? The way it turned out, it's good the way it turned out, but you would not think it turned out the way it did with who did what and how it went about it, and that really happened, and why did that happen? But how could that happen? There's like so many questions unanswered and so many like, huh? moments, but you kind of just roll along with it. But you're still like scratching your head at it because you're like, that is not like the character would do that. Like, that doesn't seem like she would do that. And this character is more like tougher and smarter, but she seems to be like lacking in her character quality, I guess you would say. It just seemed like towards the ending of the book, two characters kind of changed their roles in a sense, but it was still good. This book was like adrenaline rushing, annoying because of Cassie and Evan, but it's just a really good ending of a series book, I think. Like, it could go on, but it was still frustrating how it turned out because it was just kind of weird to me how it turned out, but it's a really good book. I don't know if I can say anything more about it without getting spoilers away, but it's just really different. It kind of took a different route towards the middle to the end of how the book could have gone the normal way, but there's just something in this book that it feels like it, for me at least when I read it, it took a different route on how it was going to end. It was just weird, but it was still really good. I really loved it. It's really good. But yeah, I can't say anything more without getting spoilers away since this is the third and final book in the series, so yeah. People who have not read this yet, don't watch any further because there will be spoilers. Warning. Oh boy. Okay, so that first chapter with the priest, the father, like, he's taking care of this community of people who have gathered in a cave to like hide from the aliens and kills them like off one by one basically. And then it was weird. It's like, why are you saving them but you end up killing them in the end and like put their bodies in a pit, like, but once we found out that the father was an alien, I was like, oh my goodness. Okay there. It was kind of like in the Infinite Sea with the baby or toddler with like the bomb in its throat, and once you like breathe and the oxygen gets to the bomb, it goes. I think that was a little bit more intense than this one, but it was still like, oh my god. But this book starts off with Ringer, and I like it how he labels the chapters with like the different names of the characters, because that really helps to know who's talking, but sometimes he doesn't, and that kind of like throws me off for a second until I realize who's talking, like maybe a paragraph in or 2 pages in. But then when we get to everybody else, they're at a cabin, and Cassie is ticked off at Evan, the usual, but there's just a lot of drama going on, and then Ringer is working with Vosh, and then there's the girl named Constance that comes in, and I'm glad that she wasn't like there for that long, because She bugged me. But when Dumbo and Zombie go off to find Ringer, they go off to the caves, the caverns, or where they're supposed to meet up anyways. But along the way, Dumbo and Zombie got ambushed. And this part, it was like, whoa. It was like more of a whoa than the father and the beginning chapter. Like, this scene with the granny sniper or silencer, it reminded me of the scene of the movie Legion with the grandma in the diner eating the raw steak and she's actually an alien. And the same goes for this book. The granny who is hiding in this abandoned warehouse building with her cats, she's like, oh, I'm just a little granny, you know, nothing here to disturb. But how are you surviving throughout this? And you're a helpless granny. It's like, there's no way. And of course, she was an alien. Alien granny who ate her cats one by one, which is like, oh my god. She's the one that shot Dumbo when Zombie goes to find Ringer at the caves or caverns. And then Constance and Ringer are already there with, like, you know, the Ringer's like a double agent. And Zombie leaves Dumbo at the convenience store, I think it was, or some type of store, because he got shot by the granny silencer. And I don't know, I did not like Constance at all, so I'm glad she wasn't really in the book. But when the father got killed, I was like, yes, that sounds really wrong. But yeah, well, Constance basically saves Zombie's life, and then Ringer comes in and she's like lying. I'm like, can you just stop it with the games? That's how the story goes. And they go back to check on Dumbo, and they get to the cabin where everybody else is. I was like, some shit's about to go down. I can just sense it. And of course, Constance grabs Nugget with a gun to his head. And I love Nugget in this book. He is so little, like he's a little nugget, but he's so underestimated. He is really smart. He is really mature for his age. And I just love Nugget. He's awesome. He basically kills Constance. Ringer runs away because she was trying to shoot Evan, but Zombie got in the way and then he got shot in the leg, of course. But the part where, I think there's 2 different chapters that were of the silencers, it kind of threw me off in a way, because I'm like, I know I said like chapter where it says silencer, but it kind of took me a while to understand what was going on, like where the silencers were, like shooting off. Like, I know they were shooting the cabin and destroying the cabin because they want to get Evan Walker, but when it was the silencers chapter or paragraph section, it was unclear on who or what was killing the silencers one by one until you got to the next chapter, which was Ringer burying the bodies of the silencers in a pit. Like, I wish that the silencers chapter was more clearer on what was going on and who was killing them before we got to the next chapter of when we know it was Ringer who was killing them, and that Ringer and Cassie come up with, because Evan is gone and they're trying to get to the mothership to blow it up, because that was the whole plan before everything happened, because Evan Walker was supposed to, I think he was supposed to go to the mothership and blow it up before the mothership destroys all the cities on the planet, but Evan Walker got captured before their plan could get into action. Cassie and Ringer, like at that chapter, or at that point in the book where they have their plan of burying the bodies and where Ringer puts herself in the pit too, they hijack the helicopter, and Cassie and Ringer at that point, I feel like they switched bodies, like switched roles in a way, because Cassie was more the quick thinker and smart thinker at that point, and Ringer kind of lagged a little bit. Like, well, I guess it was more common sense, but I just feel like Ringer and Cassie kind of switched bodies in a way. You know how Ringer is like always smart, really smart, and tough, and stealthy, and survival mode, And Cassie is like, she's smart and survival mode, but she gets like her feelings in the way sometimes, and Ringer doesn't. And I feel like they switched bodies at that point. When they get to the base, they have like a whole plan out, and Cassie is running everywhere, shooting people that need to be shot. And Cassie, I think, gets shot. No, she gets poisoned by the sprinkler system. And Ringer and her switch outfits, and because Ringer has its full system in her, so she's immune to the poison. When they go back in there and they're in Wonderland, once Ringer uploads all the thousands of memories into Cassie, I feel like that is when they really changed bodies. Of course, because she's going to have everybody's memory in her, of course she's going to act differently. But when Cassie gets all the thousands of memories uploaded into her and Ringer hears somebody coming down the stairwell with her supernatural hearing, she goes and sees who it is because she thinks it's Bosch, and she wants to kill him. But it's Evan Walker. Well, it used to be Evan Walker. And he basically goes Hulk mode on her. Like, seriously, like slamming her against a concrete wall, slamming her on the floor, and like basically like slamming her into where the walls crack and the floor cracks. And meanwhile, she's pregnant. And well, we find out that she's pregnant like in the beginning of the book, with her and Zombie having a talk. But anywho, when he breaks her back, I'm like, she's done, the baby's done, Ringer's gone. And then Evan Walker, he goes after Cassie because he's like, where is she? And Cassie is so smart now with all the memories in her. She like hides and has a little thing set up for him. It's like, surprise! But when Evan Walker finds her, she's in like this closet, electrical closet I think it is. And if I remember correctly, I think there's water on the floor. And she's cornered by him and he's like, kill zone, you know? And she hops up and grabs onto this thing, and an electrical wire hangs down, and he jumps, but I think he gets electrocuted, because then, well, we don't really know, because then it goes to Cassie coming to Ringer in the hallway, and, well, Bosch got to Ringer first, and they're having a little chit-chat, catching up. But when Cassie puts a bullet through Bosch's head, I'm like, yes! Basically killed the main alien commander there. But on how it went down of killing Bosch, I did not expect Cassie to kill Bosch. Like, Ringer, I expected her of all people to kill Bosch. Or killing Bosch went down with like him being caught in an explosion, or like a very like bloodbath battle that he went down, you know, fighting, but not just like shoot in the back of the head, dead. Like, that was kind of disappointing because I expected more of like an action scene of him dying. Like, Cassie ends up killing Bosch, and then she goes and continues the plan where she gets in the pod that Bosch is supposed to be in and goes to the mothership. And, well, first she puts Ringer in a closet to keep her safe. It was in the Infinite Sea. Bosch gave Ringer a little capsule bomb thing and put it in her pocket, and he's like, you'll know when you'll need this, or something like that. And she's like, this is what he meant. This is what it was meant for. She reaches for it, but it's not there. You and Cassie switched clothes. So Cassie has the bomb in her pocket. And when she got to the mothership, I was like, oh dear God, please don't blow it up with you in there. But what does she do? She puts it in and blows the mothership up with herself. I'm like, poor Sammy. He lost his mom, his dad, and now his sister. And even though Cassie went on a speech to tell Ringer to take care of him, make sure he bathes and brushes his teeth every day, make sure he knows his ABCs, make sure he's a good person. And I'm just like, oh please, just let this be one of those moments where they think that they're gonna die, but they end up not dying. But Yancey is gone. That really made me sad. 'Cause I'm like, no, what about you and Evan Walker and Happily Ever After? But this is not that book. Meanwhile, Zombie and Megan and Nugget get to in the cave, and explosions go off because people are trying to invade and kill them. When Zombie, Megan, and Nugget get picked up by somebody, no, they're trying to bring them in. And I feel like they could have, like, well, I guess, I don't know, it just felt like a filler end scene for me. But Zombie rescues Ringer. But when it's the ending chapter of the book, Sam and Zombie are at a convenience store looking for something. And Nugget's all grown up because he's swearing right now. I'm like, bless his heart. When they finally find a Christmas tree and they go back to where they're staying at, Ringer is there with a newborn, which I'm like, how the hell did Ringer survive that? I mean, like, I know she has a 12 system in her, but she broke her back. And how the hell did the baby survive? The baby doesn't have the 12 system. Ringer was pregnant and was slammed to death against concrete. Did the 12th system, like, help the baby too, even though the baby didn't have a 12th system? Like, how the hell did the baby survive that? I can understand Ringer surviving that, but not the baby. What do you know? Here comes Evan Walker. I thought he died. But we don't really know what happened to him, because when he finally jumped and the electrical rod was coming down, it went to where the next chapter was of Cassie and Ringer and the stairway. So we really didn't know if Evan Walker lived or died, which kind of bugged me about that, how Rick Yancey ended that chapter. Because I'm like, what happened to you, Evan? But I guess that's where Evan comes in at that chapter, where he's okay, he's alive, but how did he get back to the normal Evan Walker? Because he was like the killer mode robot, or unless they fixed him, which should have said in the book somewhere, because I'm like, okay, he was the robot killing Evan Walker, and now he's a regular Evan Walker. I'm like, how did that happen? Did he get electrocuted where he was shocked back into the Evan Walker, or did Ringer and Zombie fix him? Like, I didn't like how that was played out, but we know that he's alive, I guess. And they have the Christmas, and everything is wonderful in the world. And Zombie and Ringer are a thing, which I'm like, finally, at the ending of the series, they actually become something, and Ringer finally smiles. This book was just very odd. I just have so many unanswered questions, and I guess I'm just like, what the heck just happened? What? But it's really good on how it turned out still, but I just wished it was slightly a little different, because it was just weird. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of unsettling to me. Good. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. For like the book in general is a 4 out of 5 to me. But for me and what I like to read, I give this book a 3 out of 5. Like, it was good, but wasn't one of my favorites to end, like the third book in the series. But for the series that it is and the ending is, I gave it a 4 out of 5. But for me personally, it was a 3 out of 4 book. You get what I'm saying? I think you get what I'm saying. I hope I get what I'm saying. Let me know in the comments down below if you had the same feeling as me, or if you totally disagree or whatever. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want more videos by me. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!